In 2017, Nintendo released a game for the Nintendo Switch that changed the whole gaming industry.
Never said it was for the better.
They also launched a Wii U game with the system Woo. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild defined what a modern Zelda game and adventure game in general was. It was released to glowing critical and commercial success, so a sequel was simply inevitable. 6 years later, how does Nintendo follow it up?
It comes with a coaster.
The Legend of Zelda. Ever since 1986, this series has been defining adventure games. The original Zelda game didn't create the adventure game genre, but it made adventure games fun, with a large world to explore, a ton of secrets to discover, a large cast of monsters to fight, and stairs. The Legend of Zelda on NES still remains as one of the most influential games out there. It may have aged worse than Milk, but hold a gun to my head, I may play this one from time to time. The following 3 entries were all solid games as well, but it wasn't until the release of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time that Zelda changed things again. It was the first 3D Zelda game and a damn good one. It successfully transitioned the series into 3D without losing what made the prior games work. And from there, the series kept growing up to when The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was released. Skyward Sword is a wonderful game, but would go on to get a pretty mixed reaction and reputation. Many don't like it due to the motion controls, linearity, and bloat. And the Zelda team has a history of taking fan feedback into account. Many didn't like Zelda 2, so there's been no official side-scroller since. People didn't like the Wind Waker's colorful, cartoony art style, so they gave Twilight Princess a teen rating. And people didn't like Skyward Sword's linearity, so they said, fine, do whatever you want. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild launched alongside the Nintendo Switch for both it and the Wii U on March 3rd, 2017. It made for one hell of a launch title for Switch and final title for Wii U, as it was the last Nintendo published title for the system, but it was always being developed for the Wii U, yet was delayed multiple times, and eventually the final release date lined up with the Switch's launch, so they said fine, we'll do both. But that means Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game, which was in a similar situation with Twilight Princess. Was to be a GameCube game, but development was taking too long, so they launched it with the Wii. So like Skyward Sword, the next Zelda game would be the first original Zelda game made for the Nintendo Switch, and with the critical and commercial success of Breath of the Wild, a sequel only seemed inevitable.
But Breath of the Wild isn't perfect. I mean, it may be one of my favorite games ever, but even I can say, this fucking sucks! Even though it really doesn't.
The main flaws boil down to the dungeons, the divine beasts. They all look and feel similar with the same objective and a similar looking boss. They're all fine, they're fun with good puzzles, but they are not memorable in the slightest. I can distinctly remember walking into the Deku Tree for the first time in Ocarina of Time and taking in how unique it was. I was inside a damn tree, having to turn over Stone Tower Temple to finish the dungeon, Wind Waker's Wind Temple having this huge center turbine to access different areas, Snow Peak Ruins from Twilight Princess was a rundown mansion, the Sand Ship from Skyward Sword was on a freaking boat. The prior 3D Zelda games all had unique memorable dungeons, but Breath of the Wild's dungeons were not that. And same with the bosses, Volvagia, Goat, Mulgera, Star-Lord, Koloktos, all so fun and memorable. But who out there will say,
yeah, no question, Water Black Ganon is my favorite Zelda boss.
That being said, pretty much the rest of Breath of the Wild was incredible. There was so much freedom just running around and running into a shrine or a Korok hiding, finding some treasure, or saving random NPCs from monsters. It created a sense of exploration, adventure, and heroism that the series had never captured before. The freedom to do the Divine Beasts in whatever order you want, or not doing them at all. You were truly in control of your adventure, and it led to one of the most fun games of all time. It's not perfect, but Breath of the Wild was a triumph. But back to the sequel, Breath of the Wild wasn't perfect, but a sequel could pick up Breath of the Wild's slack, making the definitive form of this style of Zelda game.
But a sequel was just inevitable. I mean, you don't make a game that sells over 30 million copies and for 6 years ago, I'm content. This is Nintendo we're talking about. Of course they did that.
Tears of the Kingdom started off simply as more DLC for Breath of the Wild, but the ideas just became too much to just become DLC, and everyone just couldn't get enough of Breath of the Wild, so they said,
fine, we'll make a sequel. But you'll have to wait a long time.
Over 6 years. Man, that hurts. This was the longest wait time in between entries in the series. Now, if you disregard the handheld games, the gap between A Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time outdo it by a year, and Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword had a gap just as long, but A, both of these games still had original Zelda games, and B, the leap forward was massive with these. For Ocarina, the series had to transfer to 3D, and for Skyward Sword, they had to create a whole new world, art style, make a standalone story. For Tears of the Kingdom, 6 years of waiting for a sequel that is structurally similar to its predecessor? How? Wait, what the hell is that?
Yeah, with the pandemic in 2020, it's safe to assume that was the big stint in Tears of the Kingdom's development, but even then, at least at the time, it didn't make sense why development was taking so long, which, who could blame us? I mean, we had to wait a long time. The build-up was rough.
The game was initially announced during E3 2019 to wrap up Nintendo's show. It was a really short teaser that's just cutscenes spliced up with weird creepy music. Link and Zelda are exploring some cave and find an ancient body of what appears to be Ganondorf. It awakens and Hyrule Castle starts floating. And to cap it off, just officially saying that Breath of the Wild sequel was in development.
Oh, I thought they made it just for fun.
Hey, good way to announce the game. Hopefully from there will be a steady flow of trailers up until the game releases. Oh, that's right. 2020 happens, nothing on Zelda. No mention of it until Nintendo's February 2021 Direct. The Direct itself, it was okay, but when HD Aonuma popped up, ooh, it was time for some good news.
I'm sure a lot of you saw me and thought there might be news about the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to share right now. We apologize.
No news, instead, here's Skyward Sword HD. Listen, I will defend Skyward Sword HD to the ends of the earth, but my god, after over a year and a half, with normal Nintendo Directs finally returning, you had nothing to share? Not even a damn screenshot, like, how? Well, thankfully they made up for it at E3 2021, where they once again ended the Direct with another trailer. This time it actually showed some new mechanics. Sky Islands and the exploration of the sky in general, enemy camps on Taluses, shields that can shoot fire, and some new abilities for Link. Rewinding objects and jumping through floors, this was such an exciting trailer, and looking back, it's piss simple. The title wasn't revealed because Aonuma said that it would spoil some stuff, we'll get to that, and it ended with a planned release date sometime in 2022, to which many assume spring or summer. Yeah, add another year and you'll have it right. Well, it was a simple trailer, but it sufficed. For 9 months, Nintendo went dead silent on the game again until March of 2022. I was getting very antsy. I wouldn't mind a delay because ultimately it'd mean we get a better product, but them not saying anything, that was what was killing me. Thankfully, they finally had something to say in March. The game was delayed to spring of 2023. It was a pretty big jump. I mean, to hear the game wouldn't release for a whole nother year, yikes. But I was at least relieved to hear something about it. And there was even some new footage. Link pulls out the Master Sword and it's broken? Thank God, that will hold me over till September. The September 2022 Nintendo Direct ended with another trailer. It starts with art of a new creature, so it was uncertain if it was Zelda or not, but the moment the art of all the Bokoblins came up, it was all over. Looking back though, this was such a meager trailer. Just Link skydiving, riding some rock up, and landing on some bird thing. It's crazy looking back at how so little made us so happy. It just shows how depraved and hungry we were. But the trailer ended with two big things. First off, the title reveal, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
So what does that spoil?
Well, outside of the debate if it was Tears or Tears of the Kingdom, speculation of what the Tears were began. The theory I subscribed to was that the classic Zelda formula of finding a bunch of MacGuffins was back. They would bring back dungeons, and each dungeon would be a tier. We could see something on Link's waist with blue vessels, so it was assumed that that held the Tears. It was an exciting time. The key poster and box art was revealed too, I'll get to that in due time. But also, a release date of May 12th was announced. This absolutely saved what was a pretty lame Direct. The second full trailer ended this year's February Direct, and this one was truly amazing. It showed off so much, gave a good look at the world, a ton of new mechanics, enemies, Ganon's voice, and the ability to craft vehicles. A collector's edition and amiibo were announced, pre-orders began that day, and the price was revealed, which ruffled a ton of feathers. This was to be Nintendo's first $70 game, and some were not happy. The $70 brand new release really came around at the beginning of this generation with the release of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. $70 became the new norm, and it shocks me Nintendo waited for Tears of the Kingdom to introduce that price point. But this really ticked off some people to where they started to call Tears of the Kingdom overpriced DLC.
Does $10 do that to you?
If some were discontent about what came before this trailer being $60, I would get it. There was not much new stuff of note, but here we saw so much new stuff. Nevertheless, people griped. I think it's a part of people just attacking Nintendo. Like, yeah, there's a lot of things that you can attack them about, but A $70 game was where you draw the line? When a $40 GameCube remaster was revealed minutes before? I bought both and I'm not complaining. Okay, $40 is still too much for Prime Remastered, but the point is, Tears being 70 should not be crazy. At least this was the game they began at a $70 price point with instead of, I don't know, WarioWare Get It Together. And on top of it all, sweetie, if you don't want to pay $70 for Zelda, I have a great idea. Don't buy it. Maybe they're mad because they'll know they'll buy it either way. Just be like me, I swallowed those $70 with pride. On March 28th, a Tears of the Kingdom themed OLED was revealed, and this thing looks gorgeous. When I upgrade to an OLED later this year, I'm going for this one. It just looks so beautiful. Also announced was a Pro controller and carrying case. I'll eventually get these two because I've never heard of self-control. The final main trailer was released on April 13th, and this is my favorite damn trailer for anything ever. The first part mainly focuses on the world, showing how it evolved after Breath of the Wild. The second part shows a ton of the mechanics at play, and they all just look so damn fun. So much new stuff. $70 DLC believers weeped after this, and the final part had slight story bits. What they showed in terms of gameplay and story was already fantastic, but then the music?
Where am I? I've ascended to a higher plane of existence.
People mainly talk about the saxophone part. That part is fantastic, but when Ganon powers up, it plays his theme.
Do not look away. You witness a...
Then transition to more action shots as the Zelda motif plays and leads into the Breath of the Wild motif.
Okay, let's go! But you are not alone.
I pre-ordered the game both physically and digitally simply because I wanted to play it the moment I possibly could. Turns out it didn't matter because I went to the midnight release anyways. Great. Well, what was the bonus for pre-ordering? It depended on the store. Walmart had wall scrolls, Best Buy had an art print, and GameStop had a wood plaque with the symbol from the game on it. But that wasn't all because so many countries had different bonuses. Australia had a luggage tag, Canada had pins, a keychain in Taiwan, a shirt in Israel, and Korea just went bananas with these. Keychains, desk pad, a puzzle, a coaster, a passport holder, a blanket, a tote bag, a towel? F it, why not eating utensils? Japan, you son of a bitch. You could get a fork and spoon with Tears of the Kingdom engraved on them in Japan. Your boss comes over for dinner.
Honey, crack out the Tears of the Kingdom utensils.
I think it's really cool how much dumb stuff Tears of the Kingdom got for pre-order bonuses. Now I pre-ordered my own copy at GameStop because... do I need to explain? So I got the plaque, but when picking up my copy, they asked if I wanted the plaque or an armband. I of course took the plaque because it's actually cool. It's a neat thing, just a slab of wood with the symbol, but I think it makes for an awesome display piece, and I find it much cooler than, I don't know, f***ing pins. But I could never shake the thought of that armband. So I was still glad I chose the plaque because this thing's actually really cool. But I did want the armband just because. So I went back the next day, asked if they had any armbands left and if I could buy one, and they just said, you can get them for free. Here we are. This thing is stupid, but I love it. I am a true gamer, just look at me. So May 12th, I attended the midnight launch and yeah, it was fine. It was just waiting in line at 10:30 at night. Not something I'm dying to experience again, but it was a cool experience. I'll probably do it for Pikmin 4. And then I had the game in hands. Oh man, that was such a magical feeling. And now, that box art. Oh, this is so good. Breath of the Wild's box art is perfect because Link is looking out at the world. And Tears of the Kingdom has a similar style, but this time, he's on a sky island and is looking down on the world since he's up so high. The back is pretty neat too, but the inside, I found it disappointing. Breath of the Wild's inside art is more gorgeous art, this time Link climbing a mountain. But Tears of the Kingdom, it's just a part of the mural, which is fine, but not as cool as this. The card is neat though. Overall, a nice physical edition. I also pre-ordered the amiibo. I did so randomly one night out of fear of it being out of stock at launch, and thank God I did. Yeah, so this was my first ever amiibo for just $16 with a $10 charge for shipping and handling from GameStop. But for my first amiibo, this thing is wonderful. It's super detailed and cool looking. I love his arm, the arrows, and the Master Sword on his back. Even the cape printing. It's such a cool figure and made me get another amiibo because this sparked my interest in amiibo. I got the day off school and work. I said don't bother me and my $70 physical game and my $70 digital copy and my $27 amiibo. So, what happened after that? A very okay title screen. This title screen is fine. It's better than the slideshows of PNGs from Breath of the Wild. For that one, it's like they were 3 days away from release and realized, oh shit, we don't have a menu. Crack out Google Slides. But after the title screen, it's go time.
Now, the game has only been out for roughly 3 weeks, meaning that it's quite possible that a lot of people still have yet to beat the main campaign, to which I'll be talking about heavy spoilers about. So if you haven't beaten the game and you're watching this, what is your goal? Why are you here?
The game starts with Link and Zelda underneath Hyrule Castle. Link has full health in the Master Sword, this will surely go well. Zelda is down there to explore, she wants to learn more of the history of Hyrule and stuff. She comes across the wall cravings, fun, and you continue to descend until you eventually come across a chamber where a blue arm is on top of some rotting corpse. But as Link and Zelda arrive, the arm falls off the corpse.
Perfect timing.
The corpse awakens and it's Ganondorf. It tries to attack Zelda, Link tries to attack it with the Master Sword, but Malice overpowers the sword, destroying it and messing up Link's arm, along with lowering his health back down to 3 hearts.
How shocking.
Zelda falls down a chasm and Link jumps trying to rescue her, but is unable to as the arm catches him. Hyrule Castle ascends up into the sky as the upheaval happens, and Link awakens in a chamber much like the Shrine of Resurrection in Breath of the Wild. A voice speaks to Link giving him exposition, now Link has a new arm. And it's now time to once again control Link. You pick up what remains of the Master Sword and make your way through the chamber. At the ends, you get new pants and head out of the chamber.
Where's the shirt?
Spend 5 minutes looking for the shirt? Well, turns out Nintendo has put it somewhere else so a shirtless title card is forced. As Link dives down, a similar feeling jingle starts as it transitions to the new theme as we see the Big Sky Island, or the Great Sky Island, at least according to its legal name. The Great Sky Island serves as a tutorial area much like Breath of the Wild. It's a sizable area that allows for a lot of opportunities to try out the game's new mechanics, which are all gradually given throughout this section. You get a replacement for the Sheikah Slate, the Pura Pad, and much like how the Sheikah Slate looked like a Wii U gamepad, the Pura Pad looks like a Switch. You then head to the Temple of Time where you meet Rauru, the first king of Hyrule. You can't get in the Temple of Time, so guess what? You go to shrines. Like Breath of the Wild, each of the shrines gives you powers. However, unlike Breath of the Wild, you can't do them out of order. There's a linear path through them.
Alright, let's go to this shrine, get it marked on the map. And alright, let's go. Woo! Can we skydive off this? Oh,
In the first shrine, you get the ability Ultra Hand, which is like an expanded form of Magnesis. With Ultra Hand, you can pick up materials, but now also attach them to one another. This allows you to create so many things. Vehicles, houses, the most phallus things you can imagine.
I'd prefer to not imagine them.
It's so fun to use Ultra Hand, and it lets you be so creative. It leads to a ton of experimenting.
Aha! The boat bridge. Haha! This gap cannot stand a chance. Let's just line it up. Should be good. Oh crap. Oh okay, come on. Oh, come on. Okay, no. Oh, okay, I guess we're safe. Alright, can we pick it up from up here? Okay. No, okay, let's go down here. Should be able to get it. Yep, okay. Hopefully we can lift it back up. Wish we could see, but okay. I think that's fine. Oh, oh, no. No, 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 no!
The next ability is Fuse, which allows you to make your own weapons. You can fuse 2 weapons together to make a more powerful weapon, or you can attach materials to weapons for certain effects. Attack a Korok to a weapon and it generates wind. Attach a rock and it makes a hammer. You can also fuse materials to shields. Attach a bomb flower to a shield, jump on it, and you can gain some serious height. And the same with arrows. There are no more elemental arrows. Now to use elemental arrows, you have to fuse materials with those elemental powers to the arrows. So fuse a fire fruit to an arrow and you have a fire arrow. Again, this is such a fun mechanic, but I have one big issue with it. The attach menu sucks. All of your materials are in one long row. There are many ways to sort them, by attack power, by most used, and by type, but even then, it's a pain to try and find obscure materials. It would have been so much easier if they had 3 or 4 rows, then you can see all your options, find the one you want, and navigate to it. Instead, you have to spend 50 years trying to find what you want. By the time you find it, you probably could have just hit him with a weapon until he's dead already. Regardless, it's a super fun mechanic. There are also various pieces that can be used to make vehicles and other contraptions that can also be fused. It's such a fun mechanic that once again allows for so much creativity.
Look out for my hammer. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. No, don't fuse that. Don't fuse that. Don't fuse that. Oh no, come on. Okay, I should probably eat. Yes, quarter heart. Save it for later.
The third ability is Ascend, which is a godsend. If there's solid ground above you, you can use it to dive up through it and emerge on top. It's not as versatile as Fuse or Ultra Hand, but it's such a nice ability to have. You head back to the Temple of Time where you have a weird encounter with Zelda where she gives you another ability, Recall. Recall allows you to send an object in motion in a direct path from where it came. With the last ability, you try to open this huge door, but you don't have enough hearts or shrine MacGuffins to upgrade your health, so Robru has you go to one more shrine. After this, you can upgrade your health, open the door, and somehow you send the Master Sword to Zelda, wherever she is. The last thing to mention with the Great Sky Island is the energy wells. You get this battery back from the creatures on the island. It allows things like fans and flame emitters along with other Zonai devices to work. Woo. After all of that, you can dive down into the surface of Hyrule, and from there, you have free reign.
And from there, everyone's journey becomes different. You can either go straight to one of the dungeon quest lines, or just straight to the final boss, or you can also just dick around the world for a long time. I know I did at first, but before I go into the main quest line, I do want to talk a bit about the world since it does play a huge part within the main story.
On surface level, this Hyrule seems nearly identical to Breath of the Wild's Hyrule, but it doesn't take much to find out how different it is. There are a ton of new caves along with some new settlements, and the old villages in Breath of the Wild, most of them have some new things about them. The world of Tears of the Kingdom feels similar to that of Breath of the Wild, and while exploring, you ought to come across many areas you'll remember from Breath of the Wild, but also many that feel new, whether you've never actually been there before or not. Exploring, I did have that sense of I've been here before, but it didn't feel stale. And besides, if it's a new world you want, dear God, don't look up in the sky. For how prevalent it was in the marketing, the sky is disappointing. It's much like the worlds of Wind Waker and Skyward Sword, where it's mainly just a few interesting worthwhile locales, with it mostly being really boring islands. The Great Sky Island is wonderful though. It's sizable, it's gorgeous, it's fun to explore, and there are a good handful of interesting areas and islands, but so many feel copy and pasted and just plain boring. It's crazy that this was such a huge part of the marketing when it's so much more boring than the actual new world. Once in a new world, look down deep below Hyrule. There are many new chasms in Hyrule, and diving down in them, you will discover the depths, the area below Hyrule that is the same size as Hyrule. All of the rivers of Hyrule are now walls, matching up exactly with Hyrule. Below you can find mining ruins of all the various colonies. A ton of enemies, loot, so much stuff. The depths is a treat, and the fact Nintendo made a whole new world the same size as Breath of the Wild's without calling any attention to it is crazy. Yeah, it appeared in the trailers, but they never explicitly stated it explored the depths below Hyrule. This was such a wonderful surprise, and I'll go more in depth later. But now, back to the story. After heading to the surface, you go to Lookout Landing, a settlement in Hyrule Field. There, you catch up with Pyrrha, who's no longer 5. She has you do some stuff to get the paraglider, and then sends you out to the core of the game. Like Breath of the Wild, you have to go to the 4 different villages of the 4 different races and help them with weird stuff that's happening there. In each town's quest line, you do some simple stuff like fight some bosses, work your way through a gauntlet of obstacles, or find King Dorphin.
King Dorphin, you were the biggest motherfucker in all of Hyrule. How hard are you to find? It's gotta be in here somewhere. His little pristine sanctum, I guess. Let's see if we can get over here. Can probably ascend. Sorry, that should not be this hard to find him. Is he just hanging out up here? Ah. There you are.
When you reach Goron City, they're all addicted to rocks. You meet up with Yunobo, but he doesn't seem himself. He has a mining company, and he's been mining the rocks that everyone's addicted to, and he's also wearing some mask under Zelda's orders. You fight him, destroying the mask, and surprise, surprise, he's no longer acting weird. You chase Zelda up Death Mountain.
To the top of Death Mountain we go. If we get the rockets on the fans, that should be able to at least propel us up. And I should be able to ascend once I get to the top of this kind of room area. Alright, so we can get on top. Okay, let's see. Okay, I guess that won't work. Try and jump. Oh shoot. Oh, no.
And fight another mini boss, and then afterwards, you descend through Death Mountain into the depths where you find the Fire Temple.
Come on, we should be getting there soon. Is that in the distance? Yeah, I think it is. Come on, get over the hill, get over the hill, get over the hill. Come on. Alright, come on. Okay. Kind of, oh shoot. Look out! Ah! No! Don't attack! No! Oh shoot. Ah, what the hell? No, get off! Ah, no! Get off! Oh shoot, what the? No!
That's right, normal dungeons are back! kind of. The dungeons still function pretty similarly to Breath of the Wild's. There are 5 points that you must reach before you can fight the boss. But the issues with Breath of the Wild's dungeons wasn't that the dungeons revolved around reaching 5 points. The issue was that they all felt the same. But the Fire Temple is unique and fits the Elden region, and it differentiates itself from prior Fire Temples by heavily relying on minecarts, which is super fun.
Got this. Put the rocket on tier and get the other rocket and put it over here. Come on, get on the side. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. Now, let's go. Oh shit, come on. There we go. Woo! Let's go. Come on. Shoot. Oh god, no. No, no, no.
And the boss is Marbled Goma, which is a fun fight. After destroying Marbled Goma, all of the hypnotic rocks disappear and Goron City returns to normal. The Gerudo Desert is suffering from a horrible sandstorm. Gerudo Town is abandoned, with the Gerudo now living and hiding below. Link finds Riju, and together they fend off Kar Bazaar from the Gibdo, and they also defend Gerudo Town for the Gibdo. Then you do some stupid ass puzzle pillars thing to reveal the Lightning Temple where you fight Queen Gibdo. She leaves halfway through, so you continue, and the first half of the dungeon is just a straight up linear gauntlet. It's so fun.
What? Fireballs now? Looks like we're stuck again.
I don't think so. I have Ultra Hand. Check this out. Now no balls will stand in my way. Oh, the Room of Hopeful Light. I hope I don't have to play any other... Oh, come on. Get over here. Yeah, you stupid ass. Get him, Unobo. Okay. Oh, okay. Come on, Riju. Let's destroy him. Destroy him. Oh, come on. Did you not use the lightning? Come on, get the lightning. Get the lightning. There we go. Ah. Look at that. Alright. Yeah, you guys got it. Blow them up. And, maybe the pot. Oh, shoot. Take this. Ooh, what's this over here? You can't hide from me. Haha. What's back here? Ooh, a chest. Ooh, a mighty construct bow.
It then breaks into another to find the 5 points, this time finding 5 batteries. The boss is of course Queen Gibdo, and after defeating her, Gerudo Town returns to normal. The Zora are suffering from sludge falling from the sky, so you work with Sidon to find King Dorphin and work your way up to the Water Temple. This one is much more open on some floating islands that are shaped similarly to Zora's domain itself. Also, there's low gravity up there, which is a ton of fun to mess around in.
Whoa, low gravity! Should probably get that bag, I don't want to waste it. Whoa, Luca!
The boss is Muktarok, who is a pain if you don't have arrows. He has such a goofy design, and it's such a funny looking boss. The fight can go sit down though, and after defeating it, Zora's domain is no longer under threat of sludge. A blizzard has engulfed Rito village, and instead of working with Tiba, you work with his son Tulin. You work your way up into a storm cloud, jumping off boats, and make it to the Wind Temple, which is on a giant ass boat. Another super fun dungeon. The boss is Kolgara, and has such a cool design, and the fight is entirely in the air, which is so cool, but is also really easy as you just have to shoot the giant ass circles. After Kolgara is defeated, Rito Village is back to normal. And as a reward for completing each of the dungeons, each of the champions descendants who you work with to obtain a sacred stone will enhance their power. With it, they grant you their spirit, who can follow you around and help you in combat. And each descendant has their own ability. Yunoba has a rolling exploding attack, Riju will strike down lightning at a spot you hit with an arrow, Sidon makes a water shield around you and lets you send out a water slash, and Tulin blows wind that can push you farther when paragliding. They're all useful abilities and fun to use. After solving each race's issues, you head back to Lookout Landing and head to Hyrule Castle, where you chase after Zelda, who keeps spawning in enemies. You eventually head up to the throne room, where you're launched into a boss battle with Phantom Ganons after Ganondorf reveals he's actually doing stuff. The champions all show up and scare him off, and they meet up at Lookout Landing, where they realize they're missing a sage. So it's time to head out and find the 5th sage. You head over to Thunderhead Isles and work your way through a gauntlet until a spirit guides you down into the depths into the last dungeon. And this is the most open dungeon in the series, as you go to 4 separate departments to get things to build a mech with. The 5th sage is Mineru, Rauru's sister. She's dead.
Womp womp.
And so you build the mech to give her a body. The mech is cool in concepts, but also kind of annoying. You can attach Zonai parts to give it certain abilities, which is cool, but it's also super weak as enemies can just hit it and will do damage to you. You have to travel a decent bit through the depths to get to the boss fight, which is against another mech. Lame boss, but the fight itself is a ton of fun. It's literally just a boxing match. And after beating the construct, you have all the sages. You didn't have to get the Master Sword if you hadn't do it yet, which is much different than in Breath of the Wild. Instead, here you have to get all the memories. That's right, memories are back!
No!
I like the memories in Breath of the Wild, but finding them was difficult. But here, all the memories can be found within these patterns in the ground. And this time, the memories recall what happened to Zelda after the opening. She was sent back in time to when Rauru and his wife Sonia were forming Hyrule. They befriend her and grow close with her. Meanwhile, Ganondorf is doing sketchy stuff, first trying to attack Hyrule, then acting as a friend. And he's ultimately able to kill Sonia and get one of the sacred stones for himself, turning him into the Demon King. After that, Rauru recruits the sages of the other races and they face down Ganondorf. Ganondorf almost wins, but in a last-ditch effort, Rauru sacrifices himself to basically pin down Ganondorf, which is how you find him at the beginning of the game.
Years from now, someone will appear with the sword that seals the darkness. A swordsman with the power to defeat you. Link. Remember this name.
Link. Interesting. I look forward to meeting you.
Oh, holy shit, that is peak.
Rauru stays there, Mineru dies from her wounds, and Zelda gets the Master Sword sent back to her, which needs to be restored by bathing it in sacred light. Also, you can eat the sacred stones to become a dragon who lives forever, but it also means you're no longer you. So as a last-ditch effort, Zelda eats her stone to become a dragon and restore the Master Sword. So you fly up on her head and pull out the sword if you have enough stamina, and you've done it. You have the Master Sword. Yay! I quite like the memory storyline. It gives a neat history of Hyrule and tells an emotional tale. I didn't give it justice, so I highly recommend you find all the geoglyphs and get all the memories. But after you have the Master Sword, it's the perfect time to go face down Ganondorf, who is chilling under Hyrule Castle in the depths. You work your way through a tough gauntlet of enemies, and the final battle starts with another damn gauntlet of enemies. You fight his army, the Bokoblins, Lizalfos, Gyarados, all those suckers. But the sages also come to help you, which is a legendary moment. After defeating all of them, the sages get caught up refighting the old bosses, so you continue to Ganondorf alone. It starts quite simple with a 1-to-1 sword fight with him, just dodge and hit. He realizes you aren't total shredded cheese, so he powers up and his health bar does that, and he's actually a threat now. Not only is his health bar long as but he can also dodge and flurry rush your attacks. It's an intense battle, but a fun one, and once you beat him, he eats his stone and becomes a dragon too. He shoots out from Hyrule Castle looking like the Calamity all over again, to which the Hyruleans must have thought,
Oh, not again.
And like Breath of the Wild, the final fight is pretty easy. Just land on Ganon's dragon and hit the shiny weak points. It's easy, but a really cool spectacle to end the game on. So you beat Ganon, and Rauru somehow turns Zelda into a human again, so you have to catch her as she falls. She regains consciousness and is shocked Ganon is gone, and roll credits. And step into a post-credit scene in which the champion descendants agree to fully step up as Hyrule's defenders. Good, because in 5 years, Ganon will be back.
Woo! And that is the Tears of the Kingdom quest line. Now, how long does it take to beat? Well, it depends.
If you rush through and still do all the dungeons, I'd say 10 to 15 hours. But if you take it a bit slower, stop and smell the roses every now and then, I'd say around 20 to 50 hours. It took me around 50 hours, and I did so much stuff outside of the main story because there's so much stuff to do. I played probably around 13 hours or so on release day and made almost no story progress.
Which is crazy, but also speaks highly of Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, the fact that I was able to get 10 hours of enjoyment outside of the main story, that's really cool, but what did I occupy myself with during those 10 hours? Well,
shrines make their return with even more of them, 152 in total, which is crazy. 120 on the ground and 32 in the sky. I don't know why, but I like the shrines here so much more than in Breath of the Wild. I think part of it is their design. Instead of the ugly Sheikah design, they look more like a basic dungeon. It's not an incredible look by any means, and it may just be because it's new, but I've done almost 50 shrines and I'm still not tired of the look. The puzzles are so fun. I haven't had to look up a solution for a single one, but many have made me think critically, which I love. It doesn't make me feel dumb. It feels great to solve the puzzles. It takes experimentation, trial and error, determination, and it all combines into the satisfaction of completing one of them. I was a bit hesitant seeing that the shrines were back, but having done a good handful of them, I'm glad they are. They're such perfect bite-sized dungeons. There are a ton I have found, but I haven't done yet. They're really easy to spot, so I've just been marking them, and when I'm ready to grind out some more, I can do that no problem.
But shrines have a counterpart in the depths known as light roots.
They are right under the shrines, touching the ground like they're actually the roots of the shrines, which is so cool. And they also light up the depths. Yet when you first go down there, it's pitch black. But lighting up a light root illuminates that area. And doing them all, well, look at that. The depths map is complete. There are 120 light roots to correspond with all 120 shrines on the surface, but they're pretty easy. There are no puzzles or anything to get to them, you just do it. It's not the most fun thing in the world, but it's fun watching the map fill out and watching the depths become light again. But after you light all of them, you get nothing. I mean, you get this dinky ass thing, but it doesn't do anything. But hey, shrine and light locations correspond, so I know where all the shrines are, haha. Now the last location-based thing is the towers. Like Breath of the Wild, the towers fill in the map, but unlike Breath of the Wild, they're fun now. Each tower has a puzzle to go along with it. Whether you need to find a cave underneath and ascend into it, or climb to the top and drop down, each tower has a simple puzzle before you can unlock it, which is so fun. And once you unlock it, you're launched up into the sky where you scan the surrounding area, which is such a fun cutscene. There's also just a ton of random stuff around the world, like monster camps.
Come here. Come on, reach. Ooh, dodged ya. Get him. Ah, haha. Can't stand the lightning. What about this guy? Come on, you know how. Oh, yeah, get him, Yunobo. Boom, boom. Oh, yeah, you gonna hit me, huh? Got better weapons. Yeah, sure. Oh god. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Haha, look at my wooden. Oh. That's there. And, ooh, there we go. Hey, buddy. Over here. Got a bomb flower on that. Ready? Kaboom! And, get ready and kaboom! And, ooh, he has gotta be down and out. Shoot, he's still around. Okay. Oh, you can't hit me. Ooh, what are you gonna do? Get him, Yunobo. Oh, he blocked? How did he block that? Oh my god. Boom. And, Puff Shroom to make him not see anymore. Ha. We can just, oh, come on, I missed. Alright. Come on. Ooh, you throwing a rock at me? Oh, yeah? Boom. Oh, yeah? Let's see, what do we have? Ooh, yeah, there we go. Boom. And maybe croc shot. Boom. Haha. Get off there. Oh shoot, you just took a lot of damage. Alright, I guess they're taken care of. Oh god. Oh, flurry rush. Haha, get the weapon ready. Come on. Let me see. Yeah, no, that's just oh crap. No. Oh. I'm coming back up. Come on, descend. Yeah. Ha. Can't stop me for long. Damn.
And speaking of monsters, there are some new enemies. Some come from old games, Gibdo's Return, that's awesome. You also have likes who are different now. Now they cling to walls and barely look like lick.
Look like lick. Look like lick. Look like lick. Look like lick.
They look different. We're good now. A handful of new enemies, boss bokoblins, they're big. Aracudas can pick up enemies, scary. Speaking of scary, evermeans are trees that come alive. Horriblins, they cling into cave walls and throw rocks at you. What assholes! Then the gloom hands, these guys suck. They're just creepy ass hands. They come randomly, grab you, destroy hearts, and defeating them spawns Phantom Ganon. What the hell? Terrifying. Also, some older enemies were updated. Stone taluses can now have enemy camps on them, which makes them battle taluses.
It appears that we have a stone talus enemy camp thing. Just get the goblin, boom. Crap. Just get them at least. Boom. Alright, oh crap. No, shoot. Oh god, let's see, I probably have. Yeah, let's just. Alright, oh god. No.
Another new overworld boss is the Flux Construct. Made of blocks they can shift around and stuff.
This stupid idiot. I'm gonna get the, let's see, yeah, 3 goblin horn. Oh, we got some stupid A. Get some more in there. Ooh, and, ooh. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's a decent start, I guess. So what are you doing? What you doing, huh? Let's get on the spring, get some high ground advantage, and, oh, god, no, oh.
In fact, they're often part of shrine quests where this grain crystal is on their back and you have to get it to other sky islands to unlock the shrine.
Alright,
This bridge, come on, there we go. Alright, this bridge is gonna be the best. You ever seen a bridge before? This is gonna be the best bridge. We are gonna, like, actually make it over with the crystal. Alright, let's see. Well, it's not long enough. We can at least see if this can be a starting point. It should be fine since, like, the boxes are... Oh, God. I got a new bridge. Is it gonna sit still? Come on, bridge. Just be a bridge. It's not that hard. Come on, just settle down. Okay, I may just need to let it go. It should probably be fine once I let it go. Let's just see if I can... Oh god, oh god. Oh no. Okay, so we have the ship and the springs. So if I can set up the springs while I'm on the ship, then that should launch the ship. So let's get the time bomb here, ready to go, hit the bomb, and... Oh, shoot. No, okay. This should work now. Get up there. Come on, get up, no, come on, get up there. Get up there. There we go. Okay, come on. This should work. This should, oh my god, I'm sideways. Okay, this should work. It should still work. Should still work. Yeah. Come on. Come on. Woo!
And lastly, Gleeoks from Zelda 1. They're back in the same way like Lynels in Breath of the Wild. Overworld bosses and fun ones at that. Pretty easy once you get a hang of fighting them, but still a ton of fun. I could definitely go on for a while longer, but my shut the f up alarm is going off, so I should probably wrap this up. Tears of the Kingdom has done wonderfully so far, raving review scores, and it sold over 10 million copies in its first 3 days alone, and it's been almost 3 weeks. Imagine how many copies it's sold by now. It was a long wait, but seeing the final product, it turned out so well. I love this game so damn much. I was super excited for it, and it didn't let me down at all. I really can't think of any strong criticisms outside of maybe the performance, and even then that's mostly been fixed with some recent patches. For $70, I found this game incredibly worth it, and I paid double, but I'm glad I did. But I've also barely scratched the surface with this game. I've spent nearly 70 hours in it, which may sound like a lot, but for how big this game is, that isn't much. Like, there's still a lot I have yet to do. I can buy a house, fight King Gleeok, smooch Ganondorf on the lips. There's so much stuff I have yet to do and that I can also talk about in the future. But I think I should cut it off here, and DLC is just inevitable, so next year I'll probably talk about this game again. For the time being, this was an incredible journey throughout the land and depths of Hyrule. Notice how I didn't mention the sky? I enjoyed this game so damn much. It's currently my 3rd favorite Zelda game, 4th favorite game of all time, and also has beaten out Mario Odyssey as my favorite game on the Nintendo Switch. I love it so damn much. Well, that was a fun 70 hours of playing, followed by a half hour of rambling, but pretty exhausted by Zelda. What should I talk about next? Yeah, I guess that'll do.